Everyone. Welcome to the Transition to Leadership course, which we will be doing over the next 1.5 days. I am Emma Russell-Jones, and I am an ST5 currently working at Lewisham on community. We also have Nina Kim, who will introduce herself a little bit later, and Neha Patel, who again will introduce herself a bit later, just giving you a wave. So I'm going to start with a quick little introduction. So here we have our agenda for today. We're putting in some scenarios where you'll be in breakout groups. These are in bold, and they will be small group sessions designed to be able to discuss openly, no judgment, as to what's going on, and get some practice in. We've got some excellent speakers, and I'm really excited for the day. Oh, this is moving around too much. Hang on. That's my end. Whoa, sorry, 1 second. My technological thing is not working. Let's try again. This one, fine. So course overview. The aim of the course is designed to prepare you for your first registrar post. We are trying deliberately to cover topics that provoke anxiety, such as leading the night on night shifts, child protection, law and consent, and then end of life. The idea is that it provides you with some practical preparation. And then there will be a day 3 in the autumn where you've done a kind of month or so into your job, and we'll be looking at trying to consolidate some of the skills that you've learned, particularly focusing on leadership, stress management, delegation, and conflict. We've already mentioned the agenda, so I'm going to ask if everyone could please go to Menti and enter the code 26148202, and I'm going to ask you all to participate in 2 quick questions just to see how you're feeling. So here we go. So the code, like I said, is 26148202. You should all be able to see that slide. Fire away, basically, and let's try and make a word cloud. Okay. So we've got a lot less baby checks. Yes, I have to say I was very, very keen on less baby checks and NIPEs. More responsibility, again, agreed. And some independence. Yes, more autonomy. Yes, exactly. I'm also seeing a lot of worried and scared things that we are going to come to. But yes, I was feeling exactly the same. Becoming a leader, yes. Teaching, yeah. Fewer bleeps. Not sure about that one. Hopefully. Fantastic. Okay. That's really helpful. And then just moving forwards. We're still going. Hang on. What has happened? Sorry. Okay, fantastic. And then, and then what are you most worried about as a registrar? Oh, we've got nothing. Ah, fantastic. Making mistakes. Yeah. Stress. Emergencies. Not knowing enough. Yes. All thoughts that I had. Alone at night. Yes. Making mistakes. Mistakes is coming up quite a lot. Decision making, clinics, resus situations. Yes. I mean, all of those things, I was exactly the same. Okay, that is criticism. Really, really helpful. Fine. Well, what we endeavor to do over the next day and a half, I'm going to move back to my slides now, is what we endeavor to do over the next few days is to try and talk through some of your anxieties and try and show you that actually being a reg is wonderful. But this is my initial thoughts. So before I became a reg, I was terrified that I wasn't going to get that cannula in, that I wasn't going to be able to intubate that 24-weeker in the middle of the night with no consultant help, that a child was going to die on my shift, that I was going to have 2 blue calls at once. There's only one of me, and how do I know which one to do and how to delegate and who to delegate to? But at the same time, I was also really sick of doing NIPEs. I was really not a fan of the postnatal ward. I was totally done with badger and discharge summaries, although you don't quite get rid of those, unfortunately. And I was really hopeful that I could do less of those things and more of the things that I was really excited about with more responsibility. And so what I actually found was that actually the clinical things were manageable. There was consultant support. And initially, when you first become a reg, you call the consultant much more than you do towards the end. And there is never a silly question. The consultants always would rather you spoke to you picked up the phone than didn't, and how invaluable the nursing staff are. Certainly my first NICU shift, the nurse in charge guided me through that shift, and also inserted one of the cannulas I couldn't get. So she was totally invaluable. Other things that I found slightly harder to begin with was delegating of tasks and just trying to time manage in A&E with all the things that were going on. And I did have that thought, oh gosh, everyone seems to be doing it better than I was. So what I would say in terms of planning and getting started is it's worth trying to get in touch with the RCPCH tutor at your trust, or to find out who your educational supervisor is, so that you know what you're kind of getting into. Get everything ready in terms of your portfolio and all of that sort of stuff. Work out in your rota, if you like, what important dates you want off in terms of annual leave, in terms of study leave, and make sure that you get these across early. Definitely don't miss induction. I missed, because I was working at Croydon, I missed the general peds induction because they put me on nights, which was fine because I'd already been at the trust for 6 months, but definitely try not to miss induction if you can avoid it. And they nag you about mandatory training, so I would just do it so that it's done. And then there's all this rules about you can't get study leave unless you've done your mandatory training. So I would definitely get that all sorted. In terms of study leave, there are so many exceptionally great courses out there. There are RSM study days, there are London School of Paediatrics study days, there are aspirational courses that you might be interested, that are slightly, different depending on what specialty you're interested in. There's also lots of in-house offers, particularly with sim sessions. There's some of the courses where they're multidisciplinary, and they're all fantastic at trying to help offer you some confidence moving forwards. I would ensure that your APLS and your NLS is up to date. As a reg, you've already done it once, and so just make sure it doesn't expire, because those dates in terms of booking it are really difficult to come by. And make sure you've got your safeguarding level 3. In terms of things that I aimed to be as a registrar, I was aiming to be approachable. I wanted to be able, and I also wanted to be accessible and available to others. And I don't know if I achieved that, but that was definitely my aim. Things to have a quick little think about is how you want to come across or be described by you yourself, by your colleagues or SHOs or ward team nurses, by your consultants, and also by all of the other multidisciplinary healthcare professional teams around you, and also parents and patients. Have a little think about leadership qualities and decide for yourself what makes a good leader, and I would start to try and aim to work towards it. What skills, what qualities do you need to gain in order to feel you meet this role, and how will you go about trying to achieve this? The most important thing is use what works for you in terms of learning. I found this slide, I thought it was quite a good one actually. I'm not going to go into it in detail, and it's something that you can look at a little bit later in the recording, but it's just worth having a think when you're knackered and you're being pushed from pillar to post. There's lots of patients, it's a busy department, you've been asked to go to the ward as well as covering A&E, and your SHO is feeling unwell. Just have a little think about how you come across and what to say, and try as much as possible to be nice, basically. This, I think, is quite a good quote in terms of leadership. It's by Douglas MacArthur, who was a general in the army. And he says, a true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent. I think this makes a leader, if you like, sound as though it's very inachievable. But actually, when you pick it apart, you realize that actually a lot of that sort of stuff you will be doing on a day-to-day basis. And it's about the decisions that you make moving forwards. And no one sets out to be a leader. It's about how, what you do with the skills, knowledge, and what you've got. This I quite like. It's a leadership wheel, and at the heart of it is obviously delivering a good service, but it's made up of a lot of different aspects of team playing, setting a direction, aiming towards improving services, managing services, and demonstrating good personal qualities. And I think it's a very good leadership wheel. Again, some of the key leadership skills are listed here, and I think all of those are what makes a good registrar, and a lot of them you do end up doing on a day-to-day basis anyway. In terms of leadership and management opportunities, I'm going to leave this for Neha, who's going to talk a little bit about it tomorrow, but there are so many opportunities available to you on a daily basis, whether it's local and being involved as part of your rota coordinator or a simulation lead, to regional, being part of the London School of Paediatrics trainee committee, being a trust rep, to national and being part of the RCPCH trainee committee. All of these opportunities are there and ready for the taking. And Neha's going to talk to you a little bit more about this tomorrow. Just in terms of QI projects and audits, obviously the main focus is to make sure that you are sorted clinically, but the additional quality improvement projects and audits that are available, there are lots. Just ask your educational supervisor. What I would say is try and turn your audits into QI projects, because that ultimately makes your service better, and try, if you can, to complete the audit cycle, because again, not only is it good on CV, it also provides an opportunity to improve and optimize patient care, but it also you really do end up seeing the difference that you have made. Again, portfolio. I'm going to be one of those people that keeps banging on about it. It is worth getting on top of things early. If you thought getting consultant sign-offs or registrar sign-offs as an SHO was difficult, it is harder as a registrar. And any opportunity that you have, any case, get it out, fill it in as soon as you can, and the consultants will do them. It just may take a while. But you can ask your educational supervisor if they're not being done. In terms of clinical governance and QI, there's often monthly meetings that occur in every trust. It's worth utilising these as an opportunity to see some of the leadership and management roles within the trust and how the trust works as a whole. And so I would try and attend some of these meetings in your time as being a reg. There are courses that are put on designed to try and help educate you on clinical governance and what quality improvement means. There's also the LSP Leadership and Management Toolkit, which is very useful. And make sure that you present your work. It's a really good opportunity to get out there, show everyone what you're made of, whether it's posters, whether it's at local meetings, but anything that you've done is something that, you know, someone else hasn't. So really show the trust what you're made of. If you're looking at research and spin or grid opportunities, or even OOP opportunities, again, it's worth having a talk to seniors or consultants who have done this before. Have a little look on the LSP or RCPCH website as to what exactly you're trying to aim towards. And again, get in there early. Have a look at the specification and criteria and plan well in advance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over now, and I will finish my survival tips tomorrow.